Good morning, Booth Bay Harbor. For those of you that know me, you know me as Chris Brandt, or Lana's husband, or Dylan's dad, or to some, maybe, Peyton and Tucker's grandpa. For those that don't know me, I'm told I can either be identified as David Letterman or Santa Claus. So, just for the record, I want you all to know who it is that's actually up here speaking this morning. All kidding aside, I was asked by the Stewardship Committee to speak to you on why I make a financial commitment, or pledge, to the congregation. You may ask yourself, why pledge? Well, the obvious reason is to keep the lights on, and that's a pretty good one. But there's so much more to it than that. It's the food pantry, something very important to so many people in our neighborhood. During COVID, I remember seeing on the news lines of cars outside of food banks. Many more people than usual needed help. They lost their jobs, or the breadwinner in the family had passed away. Or perhaps the supply chain had stopped and there was no food on the shelves in the grocery stores. Where would these people have gone if not for the generosity of good people and the food pantries? I can't imagine it was any different here in Maine. And what about the spiritual education of our children? Not just learning the stories in the Bible, but learning to work together like a community. Learning how to be part of something. We see this in the shows and the skits they put on for us, lighting the candles on the altar before our Sunday's church service, or raising money for Heifer International, which teaches them to help others in need. For me, it was more personal. When our son Dylan dropped out of college and joined the Marines, and my mother was in the process of dying in a hospice facility, I was obviously experiencing a roller coaster of emotions, like now. After work one day, I found myself turning into the church parking lot. I realized I needed to speak to our minister. This church is a safe place to talk, to pray, and to cry without fear of judgment. In my head, there's always judgment. What I got from that visit was what I needed at that moment in time, and I thank God for that. So, keeping the lights on is a pretty big deal. Not just because of the physical lights. It's the shining light in our community that helps to feed our bodies and our souls. It's a shining light we can't let go out. Your pledge will help keep this shining lights, as the light shining, as bright as possible. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you all at this moment.